hello. Welcome everyone to another episode of Damage Control. This is Mookie, joined again here with Darth Fever. And we got another blog post review that we're going to do. Some catching up a little bit as I was out on spring break vacation last week. The main thing is just a lot of heavy conversations that we have to catch up on here with the Dark Code team, and also kind of touch up on the Dark Hunters. So that's going to be more on the second half of the show, where we kind of break down the war instincts. And luckily our boy over here, Darth, has some nice videos that we'll go ahead and showcase there, just kind of talking about his personal experience and using the Dark Hunters. So yeah, let's jump into it here. So how are you doing, Darth?
Doing well, thank you, Mookie. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, all right. So I want to talk about, when we kind of break up these segments, and just to kind of give a summary to those that may be new or maybe just catching us for the first time a little bit. We kind of go into it here live on Twitch, and we break our show up into two segments. The first part of it is, damage control, which we kind of talk about the past, present, future, just kind of current events that are going on within the game. And then on the second half of the show on Twitch, we talk about the war side of things, just kind of get into our feel of our favorite. That's one of our favorite game modes. So we like discussing that. And but those videos don't pop out until like Wednesday onto the YouTube channel. So that's something just kind of, if you're curious, that's kind of the format timeline that I kind of uploaded there. And but yeah, let me switch screens here. The last time that we're on here, we're talking about Morgan Le Fay. And that's the character of the Force Horseman that's coming out. And within Morgan Le Fay, she's going to come with the Dark Code team. So the following week that I missed out on last Friday was over here, right? This is when they were introducing Wong and the Doctor Strange Heartless. And I wonder your feel, like, did you catch any content creators, Darth, or did you personally just kind of review this on yourself? Like, what's your impressions between... Are you excited for, them actually creating a new Doctor Strange, or would you have preferred them to just redone his kit?
With a six red Doctor Strange, that's a semi-useless character right now. I'd love to see him rework his kit, but he's one of the more exciting new characters coming on this patch. So for me personally, I think. So, and I did watch a lot of content. I always watch content creators. I'm a content consumer, so I don't know. Having a new character is going to be good. Wong seems he almost seems like the lackluster person that came. He's going to be necessary, but he's just the least exciting character that's coming for the Darkhold team.
Okay. Yeah, because obviously when I was out on vacation, I didn't really read into it too in depth, so that's kind of where I'm leaning on you here. And the reason why I asked that question is about with Doctor Strange is that I also have him. Actually, I got him at 7 red. So I was like, man, and to see that they built like the new character, this Heartless character, just made me feel heartless about my OG Strange. I'm like, well, that sucks. So
I'm excited. I really like the What If program, so I'm excited about any characters that come from that.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what's going on right there. So that's just kind of recapping of last week. When we jump over to this week, and this kind of now completes the 5-player team as far as the Dark Code, and this is where they bring out Agatha and Scarlet Witch. And again, so a Scarlet Witch, instead of her getting a rework, instead of her having like a new character, they are going with the OG aspect of her. And so she has like a minor rework going on. Now Agatha is more the big deal, right? As far as what she brings to the table.
Yeah, the rework to Scarlet Witch is very minimal.
Yeah, and I guess the question, because you and I, we don't really want to spend like about an hour breaking down the kits. But when I look into Agatha Harkness, the biggest thing about her is that everything that kind of touches on is like her arena. Like she definitely is going to be a hard counter to the Eternals. And
that's what it is. The callouts in her kit are against cosmic mythic blasters and cosmic mythic controllers, which is Cersei and Icarus.
Yeah, it's right here on her ultimate too, right? And it's like it starts off, it's a 10 for 10 energy cost. But yeah, so it's available first turn. And what's interesting about this whole thing that I really wanted to kind of ask you on, and that's why I was kind of jumping about, if you follow any of the content creators, because I don't know if they're like, oh, I know you follow them, but what I meant is like if you kind of kept up, if or if any of them do they have access to them? Have you seen them do any test play on
Not seen any test footage of this team yet. They
no?
probably will get that as the patch releases.
Yeah, okay. The reason
You know,
why,
I would assume. I don't know.
yeah, and just I guess jumping to the point where my excitement is that I wonder if do you if she's going to be a plug-in player for Arena. I mean, if you're outside personal take, do you think like you can build like a team around her in the Arena, or is she going to be dependent on the full dark code?
Um, she could be a plug and play character. It's really hard for me to say now. I'm gonna assume that you're gonna want the full team.
Okay, yeah,
The
yeah,
one thing I have heard is that Scarlet Witch, because her rework is so small, that if you have Dormammu, that might be the team. It might be the Darkhold team with Dormammu instead of Scarlet Witch.
that's what. Okay, and I did run across that on some kind of chatter, so something to look out for. I mean, that's kind of where my brain obviously is coming towards, because I look at it like the questions, and the reason why I bring all this up is just not everybody's going to be able to get Morgan Le Fay, on our first release of that Scourge event, and I'm wondering like what's theory crafting going to be there, for those that can't unlock her. Obviously, those that can are going to be getting that full team up there and running, and it's just something to kind of look out for in the future as far as really trying to figure out the approach, on what you want to do with this team. So that's kind of where my thought process was. And,
Yep.
but yeah, I mean, it's anything else here as far as that Darkhold team. They're all Mystic, right? As far as
Yeah.
like the resources that you got to be aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's a lot of there's gonna be a big gear crunch coming. Make your choices wisely.
yeah, okay. Well, let me jump over, and we'll jump back onto this blog post in a little bit. But what I want to do, that's kind of this is somewhat of the past future, so we'll pause a little bit, as I want to kind of talk about them a little bit more. But what I want to go into now is just jumping into the current gameplay of what's going on with the current event. Now, on this particular event right here that we have going on is the Living Vampire event. Now, if you happen to have your phone out or however you manage your game on the show here, Darth, I mean, what milestone are you at right now for this Living Vampire? Do you know where you're at?
The Living Vampire event. I'm at milestone 17 is the next one I'm gonna claim.
Okay,
So I'm one behind you.
okay. Now, have you bought, pulled onto the rabbit? I
No.
mean, into the carrot as far
No.
as buying any of those offers?
Nope. I haven't purchased any of them.
Neither
I,
have
I don't know
I.
that I have any. I don't have any plans to. They didn't give you the full spectrum of what you're going to need to do. They broke it into. They know what you can do for the first half. We'll find out in a few more days what we can actually get through the second half.
Yeah.
So
And
it's not
I don't think it's needed. I mean, we'll see. Like you said, that's exactly the approach I'm taking with you. It's just kind of wait and see. I mean, there's some kind of, not expensive offers that are out there, but that's kind of what I look at is more on the value side to see like, okay, maybe do I need to do that to complete the next milestone? So at this point, what I really want to kind of show is the whole aspect of how I'm getting up to these levels here. I think it is a friendly event. I mean, I am enjoying it. I mean, what's your personal take as far as this event? Do you like the way they released it and how they're kind of going about the milestones? What's your take?
Yeah, the first half looks like it's easily completable, free to play, which is great. The Fangs Out part of the Living Vampire one. So like, I mean, we got a day and 10 hours left, and I'm at 19 to 20 of that one. I can only collect 2 more, so we're easily going to get that. And then in a couple days we'll get the one that's blitzing and spinning cores. So we'll see how rough that one is and what it amounts to.
Yeah, so this whole thing right here is about, the energy and the raid battles. So what's real key about the point system is on that raid battle, it's 100 points. So you definitely don't want to be sitting down on your energy. You just want to go about it, go in there, get your attacks in. And I mean, especially on this alpha raid right here, what I noticed at some of the aggressive alliances, they kind of get in these crunches where they're, because of the event, it's kind of, I don't want to say backfires, but it's almost like a battle of nodes, like you gotta, like, if you're an aggressive alliance here that, luckily, if you look at mine, I don't have anyone here that I'm battling with. So I can just go about it. Now, what I do on this energy stuff here, and this is just the tip that I wanted to bring out, which, again, we'll see when I upload this video to YouTube. But I go about the basic energy. And actually, what I end up doing is I actually would buy, I'm actually using these cores to buy extra battles because they're 100 points. I never done this, but for this particular event, I'm kind of treating it like the campaign event. So I'm buying some actual extra bonuses, but I don't buy up to 100 cores. So I just get my extra battles in. And I say that because if you are an aggressive alliance and if you already, capped out your energy and you want to beat your next buddy to it, the only way to do that is to buy it, but it kind of works out for you as far as getting the hundreds. Now, truthfully, you may not have to use those cores. I didn't bring out the whole math calculator tool. I haven't looked into any videos of it, but it's just something personally that I do. It's just kind of a tidbit to kind of just jump ahead and make sure that you can get those completions on the milestone. And then the other part of it on the energy side, which, again, we're recording this on Sunday morning, but on the server reset, they have this other thing going down, which is going to be the 2-time energy drop. So save your cores until the energy drops. So I haven't used any of my, the energy yet. So I'm still sitting up on, like, I even have this to use, and then I have my cores to use. So I'm going to wait until the energy campaign event drops here on the server reset. And the second half of that is also going into that web store, right? And when you go into the web store, that's where you can go ahead and collect this milestone. And I think it's when you complete like a blitz battle or something like that, like win a blitz battle or something, then you get this free daily energy to collect. So then I just sit on that, and again, I'm gonna wait until the that 2-time energy drops before I use this GIF. So and I actually also opened up the other part of the web milestone, which is, I think if you do the arena battle, they also give you one of those orbs for this particular event, and I forget the name of it.
1.25 of those Mystic Assassin orbs, which will be 10 over the course of the 8 days.
Yeah, yep. So definitely keep an eye out on that web store, and it has the feeling, even though, again, depending on when I upload this, it may be after the fact for some that catch our video, but planning ahead on future events, it really seems that they're going to tie that web store into rewards as part of these events that start rolling out in the future. So that's just something to think of. So yeah, I'm loving it. So where do you have? Let's talk about Morbius for a moment. When I go into the Dark Hunter squad, obviously, look, you only got 4 out of the 5 right now. And you got Morbius. What red star were you able to get him at?
5.
You got him at 5. Nice.
Well, I've got him at 5. I pulled a 5 red star, and if I get every shard that's available during the event, I will have enough to light up that 5th red star.
Okay. Good. I've been getting real lucky on the Doctor Voodoo and his, and obviously his events going on right now, which we haven't really touched on. He's on that campaign event, but on his little orbs, I've been hitting like those purple ones up in the middle, getting 14, 16s.
Nice.
Shards. Yeah, so I'm almost, I think at the pace I'm going, I should be able to get him up to a 6-star. So where you at with your Dr. Voodoo?
I gotta get 40 more shards to unlock the 5th star, so I'm a little bit behind you on that. I've gotten very unlucky. I've had him very few times in the center.
Yeah, no, I don't know how I'm putting luck on him, because even when I made the original purchase, you get his shards, I was able to get some big shards on that original pulls as well. So he's just kind of been coming my way. So, all right, but that's on that side of the things with those events. Now, jumping back to the blog post here, let's take a look. What I want to go and touch on is just kind of going over into the future events. And because a lot of this on the blog post is just really talking about the kits for Scarlet Witch and for Agatha. But then, there's one thing worth mentioning. It's this part right here, the new unique gear piece, which ties on to Morgan Le Fay. And I guess they named it tempered osmium, something like that. But anyways, what I what I want to jump over to because I'm curious. Those little what are they called? Let me just jump into the gameplay. Obviously, I've become like a hoarder, not on purpose, but just on my style that I've been doing with this game. It's like if I don't need to open anything, I don't. But what I wanted to kind of look down into is on the armory. I guess one of the pieces that are going to be part of it is going to be the what is it called? Oh, I guess it's not over here, right?
Yeah, they're in the
The
raid
raid one.
orbs.
Okay,
Yeah, the orange elites. So the
there it
13 mini,
is.
the gold piece will probably be dropped in there.
So
So we'll need
yeah,
to hoard those.
how many do you have? I don't know if you ever looked. Do you hoard this at all?
Uh, I have like maybe 40 or 50. I open it. I need SBCs. There's a that's a decent amount of SBCs that come out of it. I just need them.
Okay.
I can't live without the SBCs.
Yeah. Okay. So I wonder what the SBCs. Where did they drop? Like in the middle? Or yeah, here they are. That's where you get your big drop rate. So I was starting to open up these, and it was mainly because I wanted to get my Web Warriors up and running because I needed to get that Oz formula, and I started doing that. I was like, oh, man, I was probably about like 15 or 2,000. I don't know. I have a crazy amount right there, as you can see. I have 1,041. So when I saw that on the blog post, as far as with Morgan Le Fay, I'm like, well, maybe I should pause. Because really the patch, your gut feeling, the patch is gonna be coming out this week, right? More than likely.
So Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, so when that comes out, that's where I'm finally going to go ahead and just kind of unload as far as opening up these elite orbs and seeing what I can catch off of that new one. So I just kind of bring that up as a tip because I don't know if anyone's in the same situation as me, especially when you're looking into upgrading the Dark Hunters and the Web Warriors and you're really needing to get those resources, to gear them up. I would personally just kind of pause off a little bit this upcoming week until that patch update comes through. So when you get that new piece over here that we're talking about for the Morgan Le Fay, you can at least have that also help hopefully land in your pocket. All right, and then the next thing to go over, just kind of looking within the horizon as far as on the blitz side. I personally like looking at that. Luckily, the blitz that are coming out here aren't ones that I have to grind on, so I've been enjoying the
News
break.
fest.
So it's Electro and Kitty Pride are the ones that are coming out this week. The biggest person that's coming out also is going to be that Adam Warlock for those that haven't unlocked him. So his event's going to be dropping off I guess on Monday. And then the Back to Boot Camp. So I know that's probably one that you're interested in for your training modules.
Yeah, I love that one, but I haven't even completed that one up yet. That's one of the teams I skipped was my skill military team, and I refused to put any gear into them, so I can't beat the last one.
Okay, yeah.
And I refuse, man. I can't. I just can't. I don't use the team anywhere else. Red Guardian became useless the minute Captain Sam dropped for me, and I didn't build them up before. So it's a slow punishment. So I treat that one like nowhere heist. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, that's what I was you had me thinking about that. And that's kind of the boat that I'm falling into with the Nowhere Heist. But I kind of look at the game as a resource management thing. And whenever I see that, hey, if you need to max out on opportunities on these recurrent events, to me, it's better to do that. But I totally get what you're coming from as far as like the usage of them just kind of sucks. But it's kind of like that win-loss situation. It's like, well, the winning side of it is that you will be able to kind of maximize on the those little bonus drops or whatever it amount it equates to. I don't know what it is, but we'll see. But
Hard
that's
time.
coming through.
It's easier for me to invest in the right now and what I'm doing,
Yeah.
right now than it is for over the years that I may play this game. I don't know. War is super fun for me, so that's where I'm getting my enjoyment, and so that's what I'm investing a lot of my stuff in right now.
See, but Skill
Since we've
Military
completed our raids,
they're
since my
supposed to be a
raid
war
teams are
team.
completed.
But they were supposed to be a
Yeah.
war team. I'm surprised you didn't jump on Skill Military. You must have had that good instinct knowing that they weren't going to be good. So,
And it just happened at the right time. Like it happened, and I was like, I can't do this one. I do, but I'll tell you, they're not I skipped X Factor. How stupid was that? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I had to catch up to get Adam Warlock, like big time, because I skipped X Factor. Like, I had no gear on any of them. So I made poor choices with that too before, but the skill military one seems to have been one that was an okay choice of a team to skip.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel about supernaturals, and that's a good segue because what I wanted to kind of jump into is talking about going back into that whole dark code team. So I don't think they have a little category here yet for dark code. That'll probably come up on the patch.
The patch, yeah.
Yeah. So instead, it's really about I don't know. I'm trying to think. Should I jump it about like Mystic? I mean, this Mystic gear is just insane right now. Like, luckily, I'm not on the side where I'm in a deficit of it, but it's definitely something that kind of, I mean, like, just when we look at the top rosters, right? You got your Eternals on here, you got your New Warrior squad on here, you got Adam Warlock, we just talked about him coming out. So he's coming out, right? So those people that are excited to unlock him, they're going to want to gear him up. So all the resources are just dropping all over the place for the Mystic people. And you have Dr. Voodoo, his events going on. At the same time with Morbius. I never seen it this wild as far as like being dependent on one particular resource as what we're going through right now. I mean, normally it's about like a unique, right?
See, I
But
felt the mutant crunch when X Factor was followed by Axemen, and then was followed by Weapon X last year. Like, they only took a patch apart in between those, it feels like. I guess X Factor was at the end of the year before, but with all, like, we had about 20 mutant characters in last year. Which, I mean, and it just felt, maybe to me, maybe because I'd skipped them the first time, it felt like such a huge crunch. And because you had to build your Axemen up so hard, it wasn't, the Axemen aren't a skippable team because you need them to complete the mutant portion of your raids. So, Mystic, there's there's some skippable characters on that list. Like right now, if you don't want to build your Dark Hunters, don't.
that,
As crazy as that sounds, like if you've got your Web Warriors built for this Scourge event, save your gear. If you're not into war, I don't see any reason to really build those characters.
that's where, yeah, you just kind of hit it on. Is that when I pull up this Dark Hunter roster, and we're going to go into a little bit more in detail about the usage of them on War Instincts here in a moment. But this is kind of where, like, who's the fifth member? Like who's going to be this fifth person, or who are you currently using as a fifth for the current team in War? And I know a lot of the big, heavy favorite one right now is using Hela, right?
That's the only one I've used, and it's been fairly successful.
Yeah, and then that
But
one
there's
makes sense because you probably geared up for DD4, maybe? Or
no, she was yeah she yeah she's gear 15 on my roster, so
okay.
it was one of those things where I want to find a character that I can put here, but I do not want to waste the Mystic gear into Bordeaux.
And there it is, and that's kind of the point because you see out a lot of the footage here that came out from the developers, and it's showing Mordu in action, and of course he got like a kit boost a little bit, and so the theory was to go ahead and start building up your Mordu, but the truth behold, that more than likely the fifth member is going to be Blade,
I
and
hope so. I hope it comes out next patch.
yeah, so I just really I was on the fence as far as where I was like, you know what, I need to, you jump into that supernatural squad. That's kind of where you start looking into like, okay, who can I plug in as my fifth, and that's when I started like gearing up my Mordu. And I mean I really love him for that ability here as far as being able to stun and blind and so forth. Like it's this part right here is where I was kind of starting to take the plunge, and then I just stopped and I was like, hold up, like first off, well, yeah, I'm ready for War Instinct to talk about this team because it's just like he's not like this current Dark Hunters team is not the true counter for the Heroes for
It
Hire.
feels incomplete.
Yeah,
But
so
it worked. It's like the Heroes for Hire was. Like they were really, really stout war defense. But when Shang-Chi came along, it's like, oh, that's what they were supposed to be. So
yeah,
I'm hoping that that's what happens with this Dark Hunter team as they go. Oh man, that Dark Hunter team, it works pretty good. It does a lot of stuff. Maybe some stuff we didn't expect it was going to do. And then add that fifth member, and then be like, oh yeah, that's what it was supposed to do the whole time. That makes everything a lot nicer.
yeah. So And yeah, so at this point, yeah, I just definitely I was kind of pushing or kind of recommending within our own Discord, like, yeah, Mordo, he's the one that's gonna help out. And again, of course, me, that's just saying off the cuff of what I was watching on developers' videos, but not really personally experiencing it. So I kind of paused, and when I started using it, I was like, well, maybe I should kind of hold off on throwing all my resources onto a player that's not going to be there in the future. There definitely is going to be a different fifth, solid character that's going to be in there and so forth. So definitely, that's kind of the takeaway. Today is just be mindful about your resource management here because there's a lot of things that are going to start leaking out. And not even with it isn't what's his name Dormammu also a mystic resource as well.
Mhm.
So, anyways, but that's kind of where I'll kind of wrap it up with. It's just be mindful, be excited, but also be mindful at the same point. I mean, that's that kind of the I don't know the thing to tinker with the trying to find that even balance there, but not trying to tell you too much how to play your game because of course you can always jump into a pocketbook and buy some of those resources if you want to. But that's the tendency. I try not to do that, and I just
Buy
kind
resources.
of
That's that's a poor expenditure of your money.
yeah.
If you're
So
gonna spend money on the game, you make wise choices.
yeah,
And
exactly.
gear is not one of them.
No, no, definitely not. All right, but that will wrap up today's damage control show as far as things to look out for the Ryzen. So I'm definitely excited about everything to come. For those on Twitch, stay tuned. We'll jump onto War Instincts and break down this team a little more in detail. But till then, thank you guys for catching us. We'll see you all next Sunday on Damage Control.
Bye bye.